I've had a lot of questions about my apartment that I'm staying here in the Philippines. And I'm going to show you what $246 gets you here in the Philippines. I'm also going to be talking about some of the pros and the cons. If you ever come to the Philippines or you want to travel or live here, you're going to know the ins and outs. Also guys, if any of you personally have any questions, you can add me on my socials, Instagram or Facebook, and you can ask me any questions you want. And will eventually be moved. Fucking chickens. I'm going to show you my place where I'm staying. This costs 15,000 pesos, which is roughly, off the top of my head, I think it's roughly around $240. So this is the complex. Got a couple different houses, some smaller ones in there. This is my one, this is the bigger one. Just a basic outdoor seating area. You got the swimming pool over there, which we'll check out shortly. You have to bear in mind, because I'm on an island, although it's connected to the mainland of Bohol, it's still an island. So in these islands, the water flow can be a bit of a pain in the arse. So like when you flush the toilet, can be a bit hit and miss. Also on these islands, the power can go out. You have to bear that in mind. We have like scheduled blackouts, or brownouts they call them, which is where set periods of time where the power might go off. Sometimes it's unexpectedly, but so far here, it's been good. And I've been here for like over a month now, and I haven't had any problems whatsoever. You have to excuse me because the place is a little bit messy, but this is what you can get for $240. So the room itself, it's very basic, nothing special. But you have to remember that we are on an island. On these islands, this is like your standard accommodation really on islands. In Panglao, you can definitely get better than this. I know that, probably for the same price, or maybe a little bit more expensive, like 17 or 20,000 pesos. I was in a rush when I come here and I immediately just jumped into here, and this woman looks after me. It's very convenient for me. Whenever I want it cleaning, she cleans it. I don't even pay electricity here. So I've just ended up staying. But shortly I will be moving to Dumaguete and doing more reviews and other stuff like that. So if you're interested in that and you want to know more, just drop me a follow. Ignore my bag in the corner. So we've just got a basic table, just basic curtains. There's the view outside. Standard sofa. Ignore my washing. I need to pack that away. I'm an absolute nightmare when it comes to packing laundry away. So this is standard when it comes to like the island life. You will find that a lot of these places have these outside kitchens. It's very common here in the Philippines. So it's just a basic outside kitchen, propane, gas, because there's no gas pipeline on these islands. Well, there is in some places, but here they don't have a gas pipeline. So we've got the propane tank. So like I said, it's nothing special, but it does the job. You know, like half the time I will eat out, or worst case, I will cook like vegetables here. And I will buy meat, chicken or pork from outside. You can buy a whole chicken for 270 to 290 pesos. So anyway, let's continue the tour. My friend's room, which is number 5, I'm going to ask her if we can have a look inside, is actually a lot better for the same price. So this is the toilet. Nothing special. Pretty small, but like I said, it does the job. There's the shower. You know, for $230, $240, you can't really complain. You can't really complain. Also, this place is 5 minutes away from the beach. This is what you're sort of paying for. You're paying this money to be near the beach. I mean, try and being near the beach in California or some other place in the US. You'd be paying an absolute fortune. So yeah, hot shower, standard toilet, sink, just a mirror, even got a hairdryer. This has AC. If you're thinking, Sonny, does this place have AC? It does have AC. You know, she regularly washes my quilt. Every time I want it washing, she gives me a new quilt. Well, some of the cons about living on these small islands is, like I said previously, is the plumbing issues. Like the water pressure just dips out suddenly. I don't even know why. It just vanishes. I don't know where it goes, but you might struggle to flush the toilet suddenly. That's why it's always good to have like a big bucket next to your toilet, fill it up with water, and then just pour it in manually. I know you're probably thinking, well, that's a pain in the ass, but unfortunately on these islands, this is the life. This is it, you know. This is just how it rolls here, and there's no way of getting around it. You just have to accept this. There's no point in coming here and moaning, because this is the sort of shit you have to do here. And like I also spoke about the brownouts, the scheduled power outages, this happens throughout the Philippines, especially on the smaller islands, very frequent. When I was in Siquijor, the power went out pretty continuously, and it was actually really frustrating. And like, although I love Siquijor, I don't think I could live there because the power outages, and obviously I work online, I trade crypto and stuff, so it's a big inconvenience. Also, another one of the problems that you might face here with accommodation is the quilts. Well, in UK we call them quilts. I know in the US you call them duvets, blankets. I can't remember what you guys call them. But sometimes they will give you very, very thin blankets or quilts, and you turn the AC on and you're freezing cold. And I've had it quite a few times. I'm messing around with the AC to get the right temperature at night because the quilt doesn't provide enough warmth with the AC on. Depending on how cold you have your AC, maybe get a decent sized cover. Also, it's more comfortable anyway. I've grown up with big covers in the UK, sleeping with them, so be mindful of that as well, because that has happened to me like 6 times here, where I have slept with this tiny thin quilt. I don't know where it is, it's somewhere in here. I've been sleeping at night, the AC's been on, and I've woken up absolutely freezing because it's been so thin and I wasn't warm. So get yourself a decent cover, or if you sleep with a fan, then obviously you're not going to need it, because you're going to be, you'll be fine with a thin quilt. It's just the AC that keeps you in a cold state. And also, I've spoken about in many videos, is the deposit situation. Some of these guys ask you for a deposit, and then when it comes to the date that you want to leave, they will try and make up a load of random rubbish to take your deposit. So make note of what you do, what you give them, and write a basic agreement. You can write that up using ChatGPT or Claude very simply, and get them to sign it so they're not going to take any of your deposit afterwards, because that's also happened a few times with me now, and it's extremely frustrating. I will try my absolute hardest to opt out of giving them a deposit. So this is what $240, $260 gets you a month. The different types of accommodation you can get varies, and how I look for accommodation, I normally go onto Facebook, I normally go onto Marketplace, or I normally join groups like there's Dumagetti Rental Group or Dumagetti Rental and Selling Site, and I normally put in a post. Just bearing in mind, you never give these guys a deposit first. You move in and then you can give a deposit, or then you can pay for the rent. Never pay for the rent before moving in, because it just saves your ass from getting scammed. So this is the swimming pool. It's pretty big and it's also pretty deep. And these are the different houses which are similar size. These two being slightly bigger, them two being slightly smaller. Number 5, this one, it looks a lot nicer than mine, and it has a better homely feel. Also guys, what I want to make sure that you understand is, make sure when you move into a place in the Philippines or anywhere, that you understand if you're paying for electricity, if you're not, if you're paying for utilities, if you're not. Establish that. Try and avoid using Airbnb, because you will be paying a surplus of 30 to 40%. So try and avoid that. I know you're covered and stuff, but I mean, I've not really had a problem other than the deposit situation. I've not had a problem other than that. I just avoid giving a deposit. But with the Airbnbs, you are paying 30, 40% more. Sometimes, like if I go on my Airbnb, it's actually double. And I know girls who are in Cebu City, and that's what they do for a job. They go and get these places, put them on Airbnb for a larger cost, and make money on you guys using Airbnb. So, and all they're doing is doing the same thing, being in contact with people who own the houses, which they probably go on Facebook and have a look, or someone that they know, and they just charge you guys 30 or 40% more just for using Airbnb for something that's substandard. So if you wanted to come here and live here long term, then that would probably be your best bet, is to go onto Facebook, find someone who has a couple of properties or has one, or plan it out throughout the day with different estate agents or landowners, and go see a couple throughout the day and find the best one that suits you. And then plan a date for your move in, and do not give them a deposit until you've actually moved into the place itself. At the moment I'm living here, but shortly I will be moving to Dumaguete. I like the island life, I do, but there does come a time where it gets a little bit tedious and I want to switch it up. And the great thing about the Philippines is I can easily do that. Facebook, contact someone who has a house, speak to them, find a place for myself, affordable place, and I will just grab my bags and then I relocate. Shortly I will be going to Dumaguete and staying there for a month or two, see sort of how I like it and what the vibe is there. I know there is some amazing hiking spots and mountains and volcanoes, which I love. I adore nature. That is where I'm going next, and I'm going to do the same sort of review with other properties in Dumaguete, and I will show you guys as well. And it also has a massive expat community in Dumaguete for older expats, so I will show you that also. But like, for the price, you can't really moan. You can't moan. Super affordable. You're honestly 5-minute drive on a motorbike to the beach. You could even walk there if you wanted to. You can't really beat it because you have world class like snorkeling and scuba diving locations literally just round the corner, like literally 10 minutes away, and you can walk there, just jump straight in the ocean. Be careful of the sea urchins, bearing in mind, because they're everywhere at the moment, and the jellyfish, so be mindful of that. Get your gear on and you just, you're away. Swim with the turtles. There's also dolphins. You can see dolphins there as well, which is something that I need to do because I still haven't done. Also guys, I'm just letting you know, if anyone's got any questions whatsoever, do not hesitate to add my socials. Drop me a message on Insta, drop me a message on Facebook, drop me an email, preferably on Insta or Facebook, because I don't really check my emails. And you can ask me any questions you want. I make sure I try my absolute best to reply to everyone and help everyone. Make sure you drop me a follow on my other socials and you can ask me anything. Do not feel shy guys, honestly, I do not mind, and I get back to most people, especially if they got genuine questions. I make sure I get back to them. Also, if you're a cool guy who's traveling or living in the Philippines, you want to hang out and come on some of my adventures, then feel free, drop me a message. We can always meet up, it's not a problem. So I lived in Thailand for 7 months. Although the accommodation in Thailand is better quality for more money, the Philippines is definitely significantly cheaper. Like, my personal opinion, each different place has its perks depending on what you're sort of looking for. For example, if you love socializing and being adventurous, you pick the Philippines, hands down. If you want regimented lifestyle, high quality condos, efficiency and everything that works, then you sort of go to Thailand. The city life, or all sort of depends on what you're looking for and also what you're trying to improve on. For example, like, my social skills have been like very hit and miss over the years. I go through periods of being not sociable and then having periods of being sociable. And then in the Philippines, my adventurous side has been completely unlocked and released now. I just wake up some days and I just take wild adventures. I didn't do that anywhere else. Thailand doesn't make it as easy, nor does Vietnam. I also lived in Vietnam. If you're an adventurous type of bloke like myself, then you will definitely prefer living in the Philippines. And if you want to be more sociable, have more deep and meaningful conversations, the Philippines is your place. But I'm not going to go too deep into that on this topic. I have other videos about that, and I also will make other videos going deeper into that also. I also want to make you aware of that the landowners in the Philippines can be extremely unprofessional sometimes. Not all of them, but some of them can be very unprofessional. They don't really put the person first. They normally put their own like the landowners, like the landowners in the Philippines who are renting out apartments and houses, they can be extremely unprofessional, and they won't put you first, they'll put themselves first. Like my friend who's living at the end, she got her bag stolen, and owner of the apartment said, well, how did you get your bag stolen? And started questioning her and being rude. But this is extremely unprofessional, and this is extremely common because the same happened to me previously, where I gave my deposit and there was a mix up with the electricity bill. They charged me triple on the electricity, but just because the last person didn't pay the electricity bill, what they basically done was just pushed it and made me pay it. Oh, someone's going to pay this, so they made me pay it because they had my deposit. They just took it straight away. So not all of them are like this, but be mindful. Some of them can be very selfish, and some of them can be very unprofessional, so be mindful of this and try and pick out the professional ones and avoid the ones that are not professional, and you will sort of get a gist of that once you start speaking to them. Like, are they quick to organize things? Are they organized? They, you know, stay on time, you know, pick a time slot and they arrive, you know, very like that sort of mentality that like symbolizes professionalism. Guys, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. It means the absolute world to me that you sit here and watch my videos anyway. Like I said, if any of you guys got any questions, just add my socials, drop me a message. I will answer or help any of you guys. But it means the world to me that you even spend the time to watch my videos anyway. Thank you guys, all the best. God bless.